Welcome, deep divers. Before we really jump in today, I'd love for you to just join me for a moment. Take a single, slow breath in and just gently let it go. Let yourself settle into this space with us because today we're not talking about pushing harder or, fixing something you think is broken, not racing towards some future you. This deep dive is about something, well, deeper. It's about remembering who you actually are beneath all that noise, the expectations, the masks we put on. So today we're diving into self-love, self-healing, and self-growth, but maybe not how you usually hear about them, not as projects, right, with deadlines and strategies, but more like a gentle path back to yourself. We hear these terms all the time, and they sound like more work, another thing on the list. But what if, and this is from our source today, the gentle path back to wholeness, what if you're not a project to manage? What if you're a person to be cherished? That's a pretty big shift in thinking, isn't it?
It really is. And what's so interesting about this framework is how it completely flips the script on self-improvement. Instead of all focus being on achieving things out there, ticking boxes, it pulls us inward. It asks us to build this foundational relationship with ourselves first. It's a totally different lens, and honestly, it can feel a bit strange in our results-driven world.
Exactly. And that's our mission today. We want to unpack the best bits, the most insightful nuggets from the gentle path back to wholeness to help guide you on this, well, different, more compassionate journey. So let's start with self-love. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, often misunderstood. We sometimes think it's just like bubble baths or rewards you get after you do something hard. But the gentle path sees it very differently. It says self-love isn't an accomplishment. You don't check it off a list. It's way more fundamental. It's a relationship, a lifelong relationship with yourself. And think about it, it's the only relationship that's absolutely guaranteed to last your entire life.
Right? Every other connection, no matter how deep, it ebbs and flows, people come and go. But this one, the one with yourself, it's constant. And if you really think about what that means day to day, it means how you talk to yourself, in your head, how you treat yourself when no one's looking, how you handle your own emotions. Those aren't small things. They're basically the bedrock of your whole life. The source actually mentions that people strong in self-love show significantly more compassion towards others, too.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from a full cup, not an empty one. It's not draining.
It's amazing how easily we forget that, though. We pour so much out, love, energy, trying to get validation from others, meet their expectations, and we forget to turn that same care inward. It's like, tending everyone else's garden while yours is wilting.
Which brings up that big question people always ask. Isn't that selfish? Focusing on yourself. And the source is really clear on this. It says, absolutely not. Self-love isn't selfish. Uses this great metaphor. It is the soil from which everything else grows. I love that. Without it, even being kind to others gets exhausting. But with it, kindness just flows. Naturally, no depletion.
Okay, and here's where the source gets really interesting, maybe even a bit challenging. It points out that self-love isn't always the soft, gentle stuff, the candles and affirmations. Sometimes, maybe even often, self-love looks like discipline, real strength.
Yeah, like the courage to walk away from situations and people that hurt you, even if they feel familiar, especially if they feel familiar.
Right. Or telling yourself no to something that feels good right now, like short-term comfort, because long-term healing needs something different.
Saying no to that immediate gratification.
And this one's huge. Giving yourself permission to actually rest, properly rest, even when everyone, including that voice in your head, is yelling at you to keep pushing.
The source even talks about a pause and pivot. Like when you feel pulled towards that old habit, maybe scrolling endlessly when you need sleep, or falling into a draining dynamic. You pause, just 5 seconds. Acknowledge what you really need underneath that urge, and then you pivot. You choose the action that's actual self-love. Even if it's harder in that moment, it's like retraining a muscle.
That makes so much sense. And when we start seeing self-love like that as this deep, sometimes tough relationship, it really paves the way for understanding self-healing differently, too. Our source talks about healing not being the straight upward line. It's much more like waves.
Exactly. Some days you feel really strong, like you've made so much progress.
Yeah.
And other days, old stuff comes up, old wounds ache again. It feels raw.
Yeah. And the source is so reassuring here. It says that's not failure. That's not going backwards. That's just being human. It's the natural rhythm of it.
Precisely. Healing isn't about somehow erasing the past, pretending the pain never happened. That's impossible. It's about learning how to carry it differently. I love the analogy it uses about scars. Scars on your body, they don't vanish, right? But they stop hurting constantly. They become part of your story, a story of survival. Emotional healing is like that. The memory might still be there, but its power over your present moment lessens. It's about integration, not erasure.
That's such a powerful shift. So instead of being stuck asking, why me? Why did this happen? Which can keep you feeling like a victim.
Right.
You start to shift towards asking, okay, what did I learn here? What strength did I discover in myself because I went through this?
It completely reframes it, turns the pain into a source of wisdom, eventually.
Yeah.
And another fascinating point the Source makes is that sometimes healing looks, well, kind of boring from the outside.
Boring? How so?
Well, it's the consistent stuff, like showing up to therapy week in, week out, even when you don't feel like it or don't see immediate results. It's maybe journaling on a Tuesday night when you'd much rather just zone out in front of the TV.
Right, the numbing out we talked about.
Exactly. It's choosing, consciously choosing, to sit with those uncomfortable feelings instead of running away, which is our instinct. The Source actually mentions this technique, the 90-second wave. It suggests most intense emotions, physiologically, only last about 90 seconds if we don't fuel them with resistance or stories.
90 seconds. That makes sitting with it feel way less terrifying.
Doesn't it? But the core thing here, the Source stresses, is patience. Healing takes incredible patience, and choosing to be patient with your own process, that itself is a huge act of self-love.
That links so perfectly to self-growth then, because we often picture growth as this massive, dramatic thing, right? Like the huge career change, the total body transformation, something big and visible that gets applause.
Yeah, the highlight reel version. But the gentle path suggests true growth is often much, much quieter. It's happening in those tiny moments, like the pause you take before reacting in an old, familiar way to a trigger,
Oh, yeah. That microsecond decision.
or the boundary you finally set, even though your voice shakes a little, or just that internal choice to speak kindly to yourself when the old critical tape starts playing.
Those feel small, but they're actually huge, aren't they?
Monumental, often, like shifting from blaming everyone else for how you feel to actually taking ownership of your own emotional state. It's a massive internal growth, but nobody sees it happen.
It's so true. Real growth often happens in silence. Nobody's clapping when you decide not to beat yourself up in the mirror.
Exactly.
Or when you choose forgiveness for someone else, or even yourself, instead of carrying that heavy resentment around. But those little shifts, the Source says they're everything. They're the real deal, the lasting changes.
Which really brings up the pressure we feel about timelines, doesn't it? Society constantly tells us we're behind.
Always. Behind in career, relationships, even healing. Like, or there's some schedule we're failing to keep.
But the Source offers such a calming perspective here. It says, life is not a race, it's a rhythm, like seasons. Your growth unfolds in its own time. You can't force spring to come early, and you can't rush your own becoming. It's about trusting your rhythm.
Releasing that pressure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about wholeness. Becoming whole. What does that actually mean according to this gentle path?
The Source has such a comforting take on this. It basically says, becoming whole means accepting you were never broken to begin with.
That's powerful.
Yeah. You might have cracks, sure, but the Source says cracks aren't defects, they're how the light gets in. You might feel lost sometimes, but even feeling lost is part of the journey, part of finding your way.
And a key point here is that wholeness has nothing to do with perfection. Zero. It's about bravely, consciously embracing all of yourself. The parts you like, sure, but also the parts you judge, the parts you hide.
All of it, even the messy bits, all of it. It all belongs. It all makes you. The Source even suggests that our so-called darker parts often hold wisdom or protection that served a purpose once. Radical acceptance.
And here's something that feels really crucial, a really comforting insight from the Source. Becoming whole doesn't mean you magically stop feeling pain ever again. That's not realistic.
Right, that's a fantasy.
Instead, it means you develop the skill, the inner resourcefulness, to hold yourself when the hurt comes. You learn how to create safety inside yourself, like an internal anchor, even when the world outside feels stormy.
That's the real power, isn't it? Becoming your own safe harbor.
Yes, your own safe space, a sanctuary you carry with you. Always. Okay, so this all sounds wonderful, but how do we actually practice this gentle path in our everyday lives? The Source offers some really practical, gentle steps, things you can start doing, like today. First one, your self-talk. Just start noticing it. What's the tone? Would you talk to a friend like that? Or a child? If the answer's no, then consciously soften your inner voice. Offer yourself that same kindness.
The Source calls it the gentle reframe. Catch the harsh thought, then rephrase it like you're comforting someone you love.
I like that. Okay, next. Let yourself rest. Really rest. Our culture screams lazy if you pause. But rest isn't lazy, it's essential maintenance for your soul, your mind, everything.
Yeah, the source even suggests micro rests, just 5 minutes every hour. Step away, breathe. It sounds small, but it adds up. Improves focus, calms the system.
5 minutes, doable. Okay, what else? Releasing old stories,
Uh,
those beliefs we carry. I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. Things will never change for me.
Those deeply ingrained narratives.
Exactly. And the source is so clear. Those are not truths. They're old wounds talking, echoes from the
You
past.
don't have to live inside them anymore.
Right. There's a practice called the truth test. When that story pops up, ask, is this really a universal truth or just an old belief? Often, just asking that question starts to loosen its grip.
That's a great tool.
Then, consciously choose who you surround yourself with. Seek out people who genuinely see you. Not people trying to fix you or mold you into their version of you, but people who honor who you are right now, messiness and all.
And that connection piece is vital. Healing isn't about isolating yourself. It's about learning to choose relationships and environments that actually nourish you. The source suggests a nourishment audit. Look at your key relationships. Do they leave you feeling energized, seen, or drained and criticized? It's about protecting your energy.
A nourishment audit. Okay, another step.
Mm.
Permission to grow slowly. Seriously, there's no race. Flowers don't bloom instantly. They unfurl at their own pace. You will too. Embrace your rhythm.
Like tending a bonsai, not forcing a weed. Slow, deliberate, beautiful.
Yes. And finally, practice gratitude. But maybe in a different way, not just for external stuff, what you have, but gratitude for who you are becoming, for the journey itself.
Gratitude for your own resilience.
Exactly. The source says gratitude can be pausing and just saying, wow, I'm proud of myself for getting through that, or I'm proud I'm still trying.
Acknowledging your own effort, your own survival.
Yeah. It's about being grateful for the strength you're finding inside. So, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, let's just take one more breath together. A nice, slow inhale and a gentle exhale. Maybe place a hand on your heart for a second. Just notice it's still beating. You're here. You made it to this moment. And you are right now enough. Please hold on to this core message from the gentle path back to wholeness. You are never actually broken. You have always been whole. Self-love, self-healing, self-growth. They aren't destinations you conquer. They're the gentle paths that keep leading you back home, back to yourself, over and over again, each time maybe a little deeper.
Which leaves us with a question, maybe something for you to just sit with this week. What would genuinely change in your life day to day if you fully, truly embrace the idea that you are your own home, your own safe space, and that you are inherently more than enough exactly as you are right now with all your beautiful cracks and your unique rhythm? What would shift?
Let that thought just settle. Let it guide you gently through your day, through your week. You are your own home. You are your own safe space. You are enough. Thank you so much for diving deep with us today.